So thanks for joining us. I thought I would kick it off with just a couple of slides just to kind of set the stage for what we're going to be talking about, lay the landscape out a bit. Let me start with a question, though. Show of hands, how many of you have made a mobile payment before? Yeah, in this room I would expect that. How many of you have made a mobile payment at a point of sale, like a proximity payment? Okay, so slightly fewer. How many of you did that on Starbucks? Be honest. Yeah, pretty much. So one of the things that I often like to start off with is, how do you define a mobile payment, right? There's been so much buzz about it for years. I've been working in mobile payments off and on for 15 years, and it's evolved tremendously in the time, obviously. But everyone always thinks about the point of sale. Well, a mobile payment is really just a payment on a mobile device. If you get a phone and you can buy something with it, you've made a mobile payment. If I pay my rent with my phone, I've made a mobile payment. If I buy something on Amazon Prime, I've made a mobile payment. So it's important to kind of expand our definition of what mobile payments are. You can even include things like Square. It's making a mobile payment with someone else's mobile device, right? That is also a mobile payment. So the challenge comes in that as you broaden that definition, when you start looking at data, my header didn't show up there. Oh, there it is. The forecasts vary widely, and it's not just because nobody knows what's going to happen, because no one knows what's going to happen, but it's because the definitions are different, right? One of these graphs includes remote mobile payments, and the other does not. One may or may not include mobile POS, not really clear. The other one doesn't. And yet, the Forrester graph on your left predicts 142 billion by 2019. This side, eMarketer predicts 210, and they don't have remote mobile in there, right? So it's all over the board. Everyone basically says it's a hockey stick. We're going to have a lot of mobile payments in the next 3, 4, 5 years, but how much and how quickly, no one really knows. And that there's been variations of these charts for the last 10 years that have the numbers just continue to move around, but the shape of the graph never changes. So let's talk about mobile wallets. So what is a mobile wallet? And I pulled this definition from Mercator a couple of years ago. And I'm going to let you guys all read it. And now tell me if that actually made sense to you. Sort of, right? But it's a lot of words to basically say, it's the same thing as I carry around in my pocket already, just on my phone, right? It's all the same stuff that right now I can reach into my wallet and pull out a card or cash or a check if you happen to carry those. I can use any of those things to make a payment. It just puts that onto my phone. So the digital wallet landscape, rapidly evolving. A year ago when I was here, this would not have been the picture. In fact, 3 of the players on here would not have been live yet. They were rumored, they were talked about, but they weren't. Sorry, Apple Pay was out. The other 2 were not yet live. MCX currency is still not live. Not sure when that's going to happen. They have a pilot running. So it's an interesting view of the landscape. There are 4 major players that are out in the market, getting some traction, but not very much. And there's still a lot of limitations, right? Apple Pay is only on Apple devices, the newer ones. Samsung Pay is only on certain Samsung devices. Android is probably the most broadly available, but again, it's only on Android devices. And then MCX currency will be any device, but it needs to actually get to market so that we can figure out how that will play out. Those are all the ones that are actually live or close. But then you have other stuff coming along that's been announced or rumored, right? So Walmart Pay is announced, Chase Pay is announced, and they'll be out sometime mid this year. LG Pay has announced, talked about South Korea, and hasn't really said where they're going to go from there, but rumored to come here. And Target, of course, did a Me Too after Walmart Pay announced. So lots of things still coming down the pipe, and it's, Chase has announced. There's certainly other large banks that we would likely hear from in the next few months. So I'll wrap it up with just think about payments isn't broken, right? We can all make payments. Our credit cards work, they're easy. Cash works when we don't have a card capability. We can make payments using the remote e-commerce on our phones. Lots of ways to take care of things. So why do we need mobile payments? Why is this whole debate about how we manage this point of sale problem, the different technologies? Why does this keep happening? The fact of the matter is that mobile payments, there's value in the change because of what else you can do with the mobile device, right? It's not just about making a payment. That's not interesting. What's interesting is what else you can use that device to do. And I'll give you 2 examples that you all know just to wrap up. The first is Starbucks. If you haven't used Starbucks, you at least are aware of it, and most people have at least tried it or seen it used. But it is a very simple app that is targeted at a very, very loyal customer base that go to get coffee once or twice every day. They use the app, they get rewards, they get points, they get free drinks, they get music, they get all kinds of other fun stuff around it. Now you can order ahead, and they're seeing huge success with that because consumers can now avoid the line and make it easy to pay. They're working on partnerships with Lyft, the New York Times, Spotify, so you can stand in a Starbucks and hear music on the overhead and hold up your phone, and it'll tell you what the music is, and potentially you could download it to your phone as well. So they're doing a lot to make the experience richer and targeting a loyal customer base. They're also integrating Apple Pay support into their app. So even if you want to use Apple Pay, you can still use it in their app. Finally, Uber, right? So Uber has really taken everything the mobile device has to offer and made the experience amazing, right? They've taken a very painful experience trying to flag a cab in New York City on a rainy Wednesday afternoon, right? Horrible. And they've made it easy. You call the car, you watch it coming to you, you tell them where you want to go, you get there, you drop off, you walk away. You don't hassle with payment or tip or anything else, or a cabbie telling you that the credit card machine isn't working or any of those things. You just walk away. It's also integrated, so it's got the payment capability, it's got the GPS capability, it's got social media integrated because you rate the driver and the driver rates you. It's pulled all of that together to make it a seamless, really a wow experience for the consumers and frankly for the drivers. Most of the drivers love it as well because it makes their lives easier because they can work whenever they want to. They turn the app on, they work, they turn it off, they stop. So these are examples of what mobile payments can do when the experience is really the focus and not the payment. So with that, I will wrap it up, and I will ask my panelists to come up and join me in the front here. I've got David Abouchar from ControlScan, Sanjay I'm going to do this wrong, Subramanian, he's going to tell me I did that wrong, from InComm, and Poelma from NCR Silver.